So I was told 2 minutes, and then I was told 3 minutes, but I think we're now minutes less. So now we're ready to get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. So, wow, my name is Jamie Marco, and I am just absolutely thrilled to be up here this evening with all of you and to be in person. Hi, Randon, I didn't see you. Hi. Hi. Hi, Carvel family. Hello. Good to see all of you. It is absolutely wonderful to be in person, and thank you all. Hi, Aaron. I just saw you over there. It's so good to see all of you here this evening. Thank you for being here. We are just thrilled, David and I, to be hosting tonight and to be in person and to be with all of you as well here. So if you can all please do me a favor. While we're in person, I know that there are some really important things happening in your lives everywhere, as there are mine. I'm here tonight solo. My husband is home. Oh, excuse me for 1 second. Hi. Yes, I am the chair of Camp Marcy Lynn. Oh, I'll get back to you about that soon. We'll talk about camp at another time. But can you please turn off your cell phones? Because we're at a really important celebration. All right, thanks. Okay, so if you can all please turn off your cell phones, we would love that, or just silent them. I get that as well, too. So I want to thank you all again for being here for this year's Federation celebration. This is our annual opportunity to really honor the dedicated volunteers and lay leaders of the Federation. And wow, do we have some incredible volunteers and lay leaders, and I'm so proud to be part of one of them as well, too. We will hear updates from our new CEO, Shep Englander, right over here. Yes, new CEO, yay! So excited. And our current board president, Randon Carvel, right over there. Yes, very good. And our incoming board president, Bruce Udell, right over here. Yay! So excited. I would also like to take the opportunity right now. Do we have any veterans in the room? If you would please stand for a moment, if you can. You all beat me to the punch. As we approach Veterans Day this Thursday, the home of the brave and the land of the free, we have you to thank. So thank you so much for everything you've done, for us to be here tonight, and to always collect the way that we do. So thank you so much. And thank you for your service.
Thank you, Jamie. The Jewish Federation has many exciting upcoming events, and there's a few that I'd like to tell you about. People of the Book, our Jewish author lecture series, which runs through May 3rd, is one. Another is International Holocaust Remembrance Day with keynote speaker Susan Eisenhower. She's granddaughter of President Eisenhower, and that's on January 27th. The community lecture with Israeli actress, author, and activist Noah Tishby is on February 22nd. We are entering the 13th year of the Jewish Film Festival, running from March 2nd through March 13th as well. And wrapping up the season is Women's Day on April 4th with special guest, best-selling author Jennifer Weiner. I would now like to introduce Rabbi Brenner Glickman of Temple Emmanuel via video to give the invocation. Following his remarks, the Sarasota Jewish Chorale will lead us in the anthems of the United States and Israel.
Federation is here for good. We have been for over 100 years, and we will be for generations to come. But what does it mean to be here for good? It means that while Golda's family can't be with her these days, they can breathe a little easier knowing she's still enjoying a warm meal. And although Jennifer may be looking for work, her children can still continue their Jewish education, empowering them to become the leaders of tomorrow. Yes, we're here, not just for today, but for good. And when good gets going, it can't be stopped. Because while right now, Sarah is experiencing the wonder of Israel from thousands of miles away, she's establishing lifelong connections with its people. And on the ground in Israel, Hanan is mentoring at-risk youth, ensuring their future will be better than their parents. Thanks to the good we do here, Jews everywhere are thriving. But good doesn't just happen on its own. It grows from Federation resources and partnerships, and by working every day to ensure that our communities are safe, cared for, and flourishing, just as we have for years, just as we will for years to come. Because Federation and the good people who support us are here for good, and we're not going anywhere.
Hi, this is Rabbi Brenner Glickman of Temple Emmanuel, and I am thrilled to be here today to offer an invocation on the occasion of my good friend Bruce Udell becoming president of Federation. Bruce, I am so proud of you and so happy for our community that our flagship institution will be led by you in the years ahead. And to all of my friends at Federation, get ready for some brilliance, devotion, and kindness, because that is Bruce Udell. And now let us offer up a word of prayer. Dear God, as we look forward to our future together, we ask that you please bless us. May this time ahead be a good time for our Jewish community. May you guide us in paths of righteousness. May we fulfill your sacred mitzvot as we serve your people in devotion, in generosity, and always in your partnership. And let us all say, Amen. Bye-bye.
If you'll please stand and join us for the Star-Spangled Banner. Continue standing for the Hatikva.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat. How fitting as our women on the Momentum trip arrive home, David's wife, who is coming home tomorrow from our Women's Momentum trip. So I have a table full of ladies who I'm going to convince to come with me 1 year soon. That's why you're all here. No. Please join us as we welcome our newest CEO to the stage to address you and introduce himself. Shep, we welcome you to the stage.
Wow, I can't tell you how great it feels to hug someone that doesn't live in my house. I love hugging people that live in my house too. But Zoom was a lifesaver during COVID. I'll be okay if I don't see Zoom for a while. It's great to be happily and safely sharing space with you tonight, and so important as the first time that I've been at a Federation celebration to be able to do it in person makes such a difference. And I'm only just starting to get to know the community, but you know, I'm figuring some things out. Like, you know, I met Ronnie Reisberg when she did the beautiful job on Sunday night for Kristallnacht. But I only found out during the Star-Spangled Banner that she has a twin sister who is singing, which is amazing. Okay, so I am still in my first 90 days. I've got about 12 more. And it throws me back to when I was in my first 90 days at my first federation, which was the Pittsburgh Federation. I had a wonderful supervisor who said to me, "You're going to be really an incredible asset for a few months, and then you'll be as useless as the rest of us." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, when you first come, you have fresh eyes. And so you're going to see things that we've just always done, but maybe they're not the best way to do things. You're going to come up with ideas." So I wanted to share a little bit about what I've been seeing with my fresh eyes and what's surprised me before I become as useless as everyone else. One of the big surprises was, you know, I was so excited to go to a gorgeous paradise of a place, and I thought, you know, there'll be caring people, but it'll be a beachside community, maybe a little, you know, not quite the caliber I'm used to. Boy, was I wrong. I had no idea that this is like a little beachside town packed with top executives, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, authors. Just no one prepared me for this, but I'm doing my best to get used to it. I also didn't understand that this federation isn't just about the Jewish community, that it's actually a pillar in the civic arts and cultural world, and I think that is just wonderful, and I'm so thrilled to be able to inherit that vision from my predecessor, Howard, and from all of you who have devoted your time and your talent to make the Federation important not only to members of the Jewish community, but to everyone in the region. And I wasn't prepared for the warmth, not just the fact that we moved here in July. That it was warm. But the warmth of the welcome. Haley and I have just been overwhelmed by your welcome, and we are so grateful. I've been asked a lot of questions since I've gotten here. Some have been about the Federation, more have been about our kids and things like that, but tonight I just want to say a few words about the priorities that I understand you have set for this Federation, and what I see as my first responsibilities in partnering with you to help bring this incredible community even to the next level. Coming out of the 2019 community study, which I was thrilled that you did, because we in Cincinnati also did a 2019 community study, also with Brandeis University, so I knew exactly how to read it and get into it. The board adopted 4 priorities that make complete sense to me and that I'm thrilled to adopt and use as my springboard. They are: connect Jews to Jewish life and each other, care for the vulnerable, which has always been at the core of who we are, ensure a secure, confident, and inclusive Jewish community, and build bridges between Sarasota and Israel. So even though I had nothing to do with setting those priorities, I think they're excellent, and I'm thrilled to keep them in focus every day of my work. And I believe that they can be a lens for us as we bring this community to the next level, both strategically and physically. And on the physical side, I'm so thrilled that you've done so much work to rebuild a home for us, a new campus, because that was the first project that I got to be involved in Cincinnati, and it led to so many new ways of connecting and so many new ways of strengthening our community, and I'm thrilled to be able to be part of that. So thank you for not finishing it before I got here. Seriously, I believe, I was actually in college, I was at Tufts, and I took it was actually an anthropology course, and we read this book called Life is with People, and it's about the shtetl of Eastern Europe, and it talked about the horrible suffering that Jews went through and how we supported each other through those times. And I'd always known that I loved something about being Jewish, but that's when I knew that it was the way we build community that is closest to my heart. And I think much of the miracle of our survival lies in that genius. And as I was saying at the beginning, you can't really be together on Zoom. You can't really be together if you're spread out all over the place. Jews build community by being together, by hugging, by eating, by learning, by arguing, and we need a place to do that. So I'm thrilled that we will be building that place and that I will be partnering with you to do that. And I believe that it will enable us to multiply the number of people that we connect to each other, connect to Jewish life, involve in caring for the vulnerable, and ensure that we are secure, safe, and confident, and that we connect with Israel. So I know that all of that is in our future because the caliber and the quality of the volunteer leadership is matched by the passion and the talent of our professional leadership. I have to tell you that I have only been with the rest of the staff 2 times since I started the job, between COVID and the fact that our offices the construction has been delayed, both times outdoors with masks and the whole deal. But what I noticed the most was how much people laughed. And it showed me that this is a staff that loves their work and really enjoys each other. And so I feel so lucky to be joining that team. So now I have the distinct pleasure of thanking Randon Carvel, our phenomenal leader. Thank you, Jeremy. I was going to have to jump off the stage and grab that. For not just being board president of the Federation, but for being board president during one of the most difficult periods in recent history. It's always difficult for a board president to serve during a transition in the CEO. But it's especially hard if the CEO has been here for 20 years and has really been a visionary as Howard had. It's extremely difficult to lead a capital campaign and it's especially hard if your capital campaign slams into the wall of COVID. And then you can't actually meet with anyone. But none of this deterred Randon, and he continued to push forward and to bring people together and to listen to people and to deal with frustrations. And we owe him a great debt of gratitude for bringing us to where we are today. So, Randon, you don't get off that easily because Jeremy says I have to give you this. And while you're up here, I might just mention to the audience that on Sunday, Randon has a really big birthday, and so we might just want to sing him happy birthday as well.
Thank you. Or not. Thank you.
Happy birthday, dear Randon. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
I have been so fortunate to work with Randon. He has been so caring and, oh, amazing. Wow, I'd never even told anyone. I just found out it was his birthday. How did you do that?
Wow.
I said it was a big birthday. All right, his daughter has officially given me permission to say that he'll actually be turning 60 on Sunday. So.
Thank you, Jeremy. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it. Wow. Okay, so this is speech version number 4. I tore the other 3 up just to condense it, because how do you put into words what we've all been through together, right, over the last 2 years? Someone said already it's the first time many of us have been together in, 18, 19 months when we shut down the film festival in March of 2020. So hopefully we're back together for good. Obviously, I'm the president of the Federation for at least another 6 or 7 weeks. So I do want to tell you about what life has been like at the Federation and for our community for the last 2 years or so. But before I get into my prepared remarks, I'd first like to publicly thank our event chairs, Jamie and David, for helping put together this terrific event. Please. And this evening, the way I look at it is less about myself. It's really about the 17 award recipients you will meet tonight, because they represent what is so special about our community, and we look forward to honoring them this evening. Okay, friends, it seems like yesterday that it was January 2020 as I began my 2-year term as your Federation president. The year began with great momentum as our professional staff and lay leaders were well underway with our transformational capital development campaign. Additionally, we were on a roll with some of our incredibly attended in-person programming, yes, in-person programming and events, such as the People of the Book Author Series, great series as many of you participate with, Federation's Newcomers event. We had a sellout of our Lion of Judah and Pomegranate Luncheon in 2020. And of course, we had a tremendous major gifts event featuring Deborah Lipstadt. She was terrific as well. Likewise, as I just mentioned, we had just opened up one of our perennial favorites, the annual Jewish Film Festival. And then our whole world was changed. COVID-19, like an ancient plague, was upon us. As an event-driven and engagement model-run federation, we had to pivot and create an entirely new strategy and new model in order to continue to provide quality programming, content, and new and meaningful ways to keep our community connected and supported. And I think, personally, by all accounts, your Federation professional staff did an amazing job, not only back then, but they continue to do that today. Please give them a round of applause. And additionally, we needed to address two areas of real concern here in our own community. One being the financial strain that many of our partner agencies were now under as a result of COVID. And the second, the unthinkable terror created through acts of anti-Semitism at some of our local synagogues. As many of you know, your Federation was able to meet those concerns head-on and in a very impactful way. Thanks to the generosity of so many, we raised over $300,000 in COVID relief funds, and additionally, we raised over $170,000 through our Keep Us Safe Fund efforts. So thank you for that. And as you might know, those funds were then distributed to our partner agencies in the form of much needed and appreciated grants. And after an understandable pause, we once again continued our capital development campaign fundraising efforts. And I'm proud to say, in spite of it all, so far we've raised together, and I mean that together, we've raised in excess of $19 million. Of course, this is due to the incredible generosity of many seated here tonight or joining us via Zoom. And by the way, as nice as this in-person turnout is, I hear there is an equal number that are tuning in via Zoom. So we're glad you're with us as well. But the reality is we still have a long way to go in our efforts, but I really believe we will indeed get there. And I wouldn't be a real president if I didn't say, if you have not participated, it is not too late. Our new Larry and Mary Greenspon Campus for Jewish Life will be the center of all things Jewish for generations to come. Not just culturally, but the place for education for our adults and much of the youth in our community. And the Morgenroth Event Center will be the go-to venue for all your meaningful celebrations as well. And there you'll hear not only nationally, but internationally renowned speakers, and we'll have conference rooms and meeting spaces to accommodate a variety of groups. This year, as mentioned before, we said goodbye to two institutional legends. One, our CFO, Ina Seidman, and two, our CEO, Howard Tevlowitz. Not an easy task to replace these two giants in our organization, but again, our Federation board was up to the task. And due to the success, reputation, and growth under Howard's leadership, we had interest from all across the country for this coveted position. And after a thorough process that included lengthy interviews, your board of directors indeed selected Shep Englander to be our next CEO. I truly believe Shep is the right leader at the right time in our history. Now, of course, there are still plenty of challenges he will face in the coming years, but I hope you will join me in supporting his efforts as we continue to serve our incredible community. Please give Shep and his lovely wife, Haley, a round of applause. You know, as I reflect back on the last 22 months, I'm really amazed at how both our professional staff and lay leaders have all stepped up and delivered every day in so many important ways, regardless of the challenges in front of us. After all, we've still had a federation to run. And in fact, because of their commitment to this organization, I am even more optimistic about our future. As your president, it's made my job so much easier knowing that I'm surrounded by so many smart, caring, and generous leaders. And so, if you are a Federation professional staff member or a board of director, please stand. Come on. Stay standing. Please, just stay standing for a second. These people before you represent the best in our community, so please give them a round of applause. You can now be seated. Okay. All right, great. You know, I've been asked many times during the last 2 years why I decided to answer the call and serve as your president. Some said I was outright crazy. The hours are long and the pay is non-existent. Of course, my answer of why I did it or do it, and probably why so many others before me as well have done it, it's actually seated right in front of me and right there. It's my family. My wife, Lynn, our daughter, Zoe, our son, Barron, they have been incredibly patient, sacrificing, and supportive to me, and I want to publicly thank them for that. But I also know that they will inherit a world of our own making. So in some small way, I've wanted to help ensure that there are Jewish tomorrows for them to enjoy and experience. And of course, way beyond my immediate family, I want, and I know all of us here tonight want, to make sure that there are indeed Jewish tomorrows for all of us. And finally, let me also say that with the coming of the new year, 2022, which is right around the corner, we will also welcome our next new board president. Bruce Udell exemplifies leadership through and through. He is built for this new role in his life. First, a well-respected and successful business person and advisor, he's also a team leader whose combined traits of intelligence, consensus building, and thoughtfulness will be to the benefit of us all. It is my honor to introduce you my friend and your next board president, Bruce Udell.
Wow. You know it's going to be a tough night when your rabbi and good friend starts out by making you cry. And when the speakers before you say a lot of what you were going to say. So no matter, still, I've got some things I want to say to you. And for the next 7 or 8 minutes, my job is to speak, and your job is to listen. And hopefully if I do my job well enough, you won't finish before I do. Thank you, Randon. That was really wonderful. It really is. Such a good friend and such a mentor for me as I became president-elect of this organization. Randon was the one that met with me privately and asked me to consider taking this job. I'm both honored and I'm humbled to be chosen as your next president here. But I asked Randon, I said, I'm just curious, why me? And he said, Bruce, we had a conversation with the leadership, and we feel that you would be, as he so graciously said, a model president for the next couple years in going with what we have to go through with our campus and our programs and our organization. So I felt pretty good about that, and I went home and talked to Janet, and I started thinking about that. So I went to the dictionary. I looked up the definition of the word model. It said it was a small imitation of the real thing. So hopefully I won't be a model speaker. And I won't be a model president, but honestly, when I look at our former presidents, and of course Randon, who I was very involved with, I realize I actually have a lot to live up to. You've heard what Randon had to go through and what he's accomplished. And I'm going to review some of the same things you've probably already heard, but maybe in a different context. As you heard, in 2019, the Federation commissioned a population study. And what jumped out at me from the population study were three things. One, the Jewish population of Sarasota-Manatee has doubled from when I got here. Number two, 80% of the people, the Jews here, are unaffiliated. But they are looking for Judaism and Jews to be around. And three, there are 3,500 children in Jewish households here. So we responded to that population study by raising $19 million, as Randon said, under his leadership, to build a campus to support programs based on the newly discovered needs of our community. Randon became president and took over as president under very difficult circumstances, as he said. COVID-19 dramatically increased the cost of building out our campus. Our CEO and visionary, Howard Tevlowitz, retired. Our experienced and accomplished CFO, Ina Seidman, retired. Our replacement CFO also left us unexpectedly. And as a result, fortunately, very, very committed lay leaders had to step in and for a while take over the job that some of our staff were doing. And they did a great job and helped save our organization. Randon did a miraculous job of navigating through all that we have benefited from, and we've all benefited from the efforts of him and our amazing lay leaders who helped. I won't read all the names of the lay leaders who I see around the room at the risk of leaving somebody out. But if it weren't for them, we might not have made it through this either. So I told you all of that to tell you this. With problems comes opportunities. And without problems, there's usually no progress. So Janet and I actually took a cruise. Excuse me, I'm draining my sinuses. Janet and I took a cruise to Normandy a number of years ago. And on one of the tours, the tour guide told us about a story of a group of paratroopers that were sent in behind enemy lines, the German lines, in Normandy on D-Day. And their job was to land as a group and come in behind the Germans who were basically on the cliffs shooting at the soldiers on the beach. Unfortunately, the weather didn't really cooperate. So instead of landing as a group, they landed in small groups that were separated from each other by a wide margin. However, the commander's intent of what they were supposed to do, thank you, that helps, was so clear that they accomplished that mission anyway, right? So with our population study, we got the commander's intent for our campus, and we developed a plan based on that. But the effects of coronavirus forced us to take a hard look at the design of our campus and come up with a different design that more closely fit the needs of our community with the reduced cost and even better results. So like those paratroopers, we had to basically pivot and take a hard look at what happened, and we knew what we wanted to do from the population study, and the commander's intent was really clear. So we were able to regroup and come up with an even better plan than we had before, okay? Somebody bring me a pitcher of water and a beer. So not only did it fit the needs of our community with a reduced cost, it also created revenue opportunities that we would not have had with the original plan. Obstacles created opportunities. which effective staff and lay leaders were smart enough to take advantage of. So I'm excited about the future of our organization. I think over the next couple of years, with energetic leadership, we have the opportunity to create something really special for the Jewish community of Sarasota. We're bringing new young people on the executive committee as well as the board who have fresh ideas and new energy. We have a new CEO in Shep Englander, who I've had the pleasure to work with, who is the right person at the right time, I can guarantee you. We have a new CFO in Vicky Tutiana, who has extensive experience and capability to manage the finances of a not-for-profit organization such as ours. We're in the process, thank you. Go ahead, that's okay. We're in the process of hiring a new chief development officer to help us develop more donor relationships. Kim Adler, who is the one that I would like to mention, stepped up and did an amazing job as our interim CEO and is now, thank you, thank you. Now she is our COO and is an indispensable resource with her knowledge and attitude in helping our CEO, Shep, come up to speed with what's happened in the past and get him current on what's going on and collect data and organize data in a useful way to make things more effective. So I'm lucky because I'll be inheriting a great staff and excellent committed lay leaders, many of whom are friends of mine, to help me accomplish my goal. Anybody ever hear of Yogi Berra? Yeah, who was Yogi? Baseball player, catcher, Hall of Famer, right? Bob, you would know that. Philosopher, who said that? Philosopher, right? So Yogi said a lot of things, right? He said you can see a lot by watching, right? They said 90% in golf, 90% of the balls that don't make it to the hole don't go in. Somebody asked him about a great restaurant in New York City. He said nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. You think of the intellect of this guy, right? But one of the things Yogi said that's really true is he said, you know, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably wind up someplace else. And any road will get you there, right? So my goals during my term are as follows. Finish raising the funds to build out a campus that will support all of the programs that our community wants and needs in an atmosphere of excitement and security. Increase the size of our endowment to sustain a new, larger campus and its programs. Support Shep in developing the proper staff to accomplish all of this. Develop a budget and plan to provide for the operation of the organization in a fiscally responsible way. Bob. Bob helped us a lot. Bob helped us a lot. Set clear boundaries, again, between lay leadership and staff responsibilities so that the two of them can work together more synergistically and harmoniously. Increase our donor base by reaching out to new people in our larger community to give them an opportunity for fulfillment and receive the benefits of our programs and our campus. Meet Jews where they are instead of asking them to come to us by offering programs and activities off of our campus. Maximizing the quantity and quality of our community leaders to make sure we reflect our community's diversity by engaging and promoting younger leaders and more women. That's a lot, I know. And it's interesting that most people, if you ask them, think that the first thing you need to make a breakthrough on a new, exciting path is confidence. Actually, that's wrong. Confidence is not the first thing you need. It's actually the reward you get after you make the breakthrough, in my experience. So there's 4 C's that you need to make any breakthrough. The first C is commitment. The second C is courage, because going down a new path is really scary, which is very uncomfortable. So most people don't like it and don't do it. The third C is capability. And the fourth C, and after you've developed the capability, then and only then do you get the confidence to move forward. Fortunately, I'll have the help of a great staff, a great executive committee, a great board, and great committee chairs. Together, we have the commitment that gives us the courage and the capability to have the confidence to accomplish all of the goals I just talked about. But we can't do it alone. We need your help. I think about the story of a young kid at a high school dance, and he walks up to the prettiest girl in the class, and he says to her, "If you can guess what's between my hands, I'll dance the next dance with you." And she looks at him and says, "An elephant." He says, "That's close enough." So, we need your help. Please don't be shy. No one has a monopoly on good ideas, okay? Nobody has a monopoly on good ideas. If you have an idea or suggestion, anyone out there, including on Zoom, please don't be shy. Let us hear it. I can't guarantee that we can accomplish all your suggestions, but hopefully we can get close enough. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to talk to you about something else that we're very proud about, I'm very proud about. It's with great pride that I share a few words about the Life and Legacy program of the Federation with you. Among all the amazing projects that our Federation is engaged in, this one is also a gem. Life and Legacy is an important community building effort focused on creating and promoting a strong culture of philanthropy within our Jewish community. For those of you not familiar with the Life and Legacy, this is a program which is a collaboration with the National Harold Grinspoon Foundation and our Federation. Along with 9 other local Jewish organizations, we've joined efforts to create and to promote legacy, legacy giving to ensure the future of our Jewish Federation and our Jewish community. Together, we've raised a total of over $20 million through estimated gifts through the outstanding generosity and commitment of 562 donors since the implementation of the program in 2017. I am honored to be a part of this significant project, Janet and I, actually. To all our Life and Legacy donors here today, please stand up, as I would like to honor and thank all of you who have taken the leap to create this legacy and help us secure the future of our Jewish Federation for generations to come. Stand up, please. So we have a lot to be proud of. So I'd like to now introduce a video with Cynthia Wright about the Chai Society.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Wright. I am the inaugural chairperson of the Jewish Federation's Chai Society. The Chai Society has been formed to recognize and honor donors who have been supporting our Federation for 18 or more years. We are grateful to those who have given to our community year after year. Your commitment has ensured the survival of our community, allowing us to strengthen Jewish life in Sarasota, to provide for our family here and in Israel and abroad. You are our foundation, and because of your generosity, our community is flourishing. Our tradition teaches one good deed leads to another, and we are honored you have chosen us to translate your gift into mitzvot. These gifts have a cumulative impact, and more than 500 donor households contribute gifts that range from $10 to thousands of dollars, and together average more than $450,000 each year. Chai Society members have been donating for as few as 18 and as many as 57 years that we know of so far. Since the 1960s, we count more than 12,500 years of giving, close to $30 million. Amazing. We look forward to inducting new High Society members, hearing stories, and being inspired by their loyalty. We will continue to update our records and to more accurately reflect the longevity and breadth of these donations. At this time, we would like to ask the High Society members among us to please stand and be recognized. A sincere thank you to each one of you for all you do and have done to benefit our community so greatly. Thank you.
In 1984, this girl moved to Florida and started camp at the Jewish Federation. And now, many years later, after being a camper for so many years, I get to stand on this stage as a board member, as a leader with all these other amazing, incredible leaders, as the chair of the Camp Marcy Lynn Committee, and the thrill is just going through my body. So I can't even tell you how incredible it is to be up here with all of you in this room. Thank you. As a leadership coach by day, and as you heard, Camp Marcy Lynn chair, it is incredible to be here amongst all the leaders that we have in the room and among the staff that we have here at the Federation. What an incredible staff I've had the opportunity to work with. All of you around this room, wherever you are, all of you there, you all over there. Amazing, as well as the lay leaders. We are so lucky and what an incredible community to be a part of. These awardees tonight were chosen by our staff to recognize the volunteers in our community and the lay leaders for their hard work and the relationships that we built together for our Jewish Federation and the Sarasota-Manatee community. Awardees, you know who you are. And in front of you, there is a bag on each of your tables, which include a framed certificate from the Jewish Federation and a certificate that a tree was planted in your name on your behalf in Israel. Please stand at your table to be recognized after the presentation in your honor. And I'm so thrilled to see so many familiar faces here getting awards tonight. Stacy. And you, that's all, so many of you. So I'm so excited to have our Federation staff please join me on stage to give our awardees their recognition that they so deserve. Please join me in welcoming our incredible, amazing, outstanding, phenomenal, and every other word that sounds like that, staff to the stage for the awards.
Good evening. Since 2004, the Doris Lovner Memorial Young Leadership Award has been given annually to the person who best exemplifies the ideals set by Lovner herself, who was a leader in the Jewish community and the Federation's first female president. I'm Jessie Sheslow, and as many of you know, I took on the task of leading our teens just this past year. But I didn't just meet this year's recipient of the award, Gustavo Trope Maher. Gustavo, or as some call him Guga, has been such a strong part of the Federation's STEP program that even I met him before I took on the task of this role. Gustavo, a junior at Riverview IB, has demonstrated integrity, leadership, and a passion for this community through involvement in the Jewish Federation's STEP program, as the president of the Computer Science Honor Society, and a member of the Math, Social Studies, and Spanish Honor Societies at Riverview High School. With the Federation, Gustavo even lobbied Congressman Greg Steube on Capitol Hill in March of 2020 during the AIPAC Policy Conference on matters of extreme importance to the U.S.-Israel relationship. Just this year, as STEP met for the first time in August, Gustavo asked how we can help to volunteer with Afghan refugees being resettled in our area. It's thanks to Gustavo's family history that he cares deeply for others in crisis. His grandmother was forced to flee Egypt because she's Jewish to Brazil, where the Trope Maher family comes from. With refugees in his family, and as an immigrant to the United States himself, he knows how difficult the journey is. Gustavo is even recognized by Sarasota's Sheriff Kurt Hoffman for all of the good work that he helped spearhead for Afghan refugees in such a short amount of time. Gustavo is a very special young man and so deserving of this accolade. To help you on this road to greater accomplishment, this award comes with a $1,000 stipend to attend a Jewish conference or program during the next year. Use it to learn, lead, and advocate, as I know you will. Parabéns, você merece. How'd I do? A little Portuguese for the family. So please join me in congratulating Gustavo Trope Maher on receiving this year's Doris Lovner Memorial Young Leadership Award.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Betty Zaret, and I'm responsible for Holocaust education and programming at the Jewish Federation. It is with great affection and appreciation for all that she does that I recognize Ann Stein for this year's Ahava, or Love Award. It is often said that in this world there are givers and there are takers. There are so many reasons Ann deserves this award because she is the poster child for unconditional giving and for expressing her love and kindness for so many. Ann, who coordinates the Holocaust Survivor Speakers Bureau for the Federation and has given her time and energy to ensure that over the last 5 years alone, over 6,000 school children in Sarasota and Manatee counties have the life-changing experience of hearing firsthand from a Holocaust survivor their stories of survival, of resilience, and of hope. Ann's contributions go beyond managing the Speakers Bureau. She treats each and every one of our Holocaust speakers with the respect, caring, dedication, devotion, and love that she shows for her own mother. She brings them flowers. She and her husband, Dr. Barry Stein, invite them into their home. She brings them, she visits them rather, she writes them, she calls them whenever possible, and she brings them holiday meals and takes them to appointments. She supports them in so many ways. She is their rock. She is their friend. Many have told me that they don't know what they would do without Ann Stein. And indeed, on behalf of the Federation, Ann, I would like to say to you, we don't know what we would do without you either. It is often said that what goes around comes around. So Ann, all the love you share with others is coming around right back at you. Because, Ann, it is for now that we get to say to you how much we love you. So congratulations for earning this well-deserved Ahava Award, Ann. According to Rabbi Jeffrey K. Salkin, knowledge is more important than grades, and wisdom is more important than knowledge. The goal of education is not only to be smart, it is to become whole, to have your soul sing, and to reach for something higher and deeper. This year's recipient of the Chinuch, or Education Award, Dr. Bernadette Bennett, currently the high school history and social studies curriculum and instruction specialist for the Sarasota School District, is the personification of this ideology. Bernadette lives and breathes this notion every single day as she employs her vast array of scholarship and experience to integrate innovative programs which enable teachers to implement strategies in the classroom with measurable results. Bernadette Bennett, who never stops learning herself, holds a doctorate in curriculum and instruction with an emphasis on disciplinary literacy and staff development. She has taught social studies at the middle grades and then elevated her craft by influencing and broadening the horizons of Sarasota teachers. Indeed, she encourages all of her teachers to reach for something higher and deeper. Bernadette has throughout her career been a student of the Holocaust. She served as the district liaison between the Florida Holocaust Museum and the Sarasota County School Board and helped develop many of their educational tools. She developed and supported summer institutions on Holocaust and human rights and genocide with the Florida Holocaust Museum and USF. She was a fellow with the Jewish Foundation for the Righteous. She organizes staff development of Holocaust teacher training and works with the Federation in helping to coordinate our experiential educational trip to Poland for teachers in partnership with Classrooms Without Borders. And in her spare time, she is a founding member of the Florida Council for History Education and serves as a member of the Florida Association of Social Studies Supervisors. Bernadette, you are the embodiment of a true and dedicated educator in every sense of the word. For this reason and so much more, we are so honored to bestow upon you the Chinuch Award and, most importantly, to continue to learn from you. I am honored to present the Zachor Eisenhower Never Forget Bearing Witness Award to Dr. Helen N. Fagan. The precise definition states that to bear witness means to testify to an event, but it is said that bearing witness to the Holocaust should mean even more than that. It should also mean recognizing the lessons of history. This award is so named as it recognizes our obligation to spread awareness, to educate, to remember, and most especially, to never forget the atrocities of the Holocaust. It also is meant to recognize the extraordinary heroism of General Dwight David Eisenhower, who led American soldiers to defeat Nazi Germany in Europe, and who in 1945 had the vigilance to persevere the truth of the Holocaust because he so rightly foresaw that there might be a day when the horrors of the Holocaust might be denied. It would take a lifetime to name all the reasons why Dr. Helen N. Fagan, aged 103, deserves to receive the Zachor Eisenhower Award. She was born in Radomsko, Poland. At age 21, she was forced into a ghetto where she ran a clandestine school for Jewish children. Helen and her two sisters managed to escape the ghetto and lived under false identities until they were liberated by the Russian army. Helen's is a story of survival, resilience, strength, and determination. Elie Wiesel, for whom Helen Fagan once served as an education advisor, said, "For the dead and the living, we must bear witness." Helen Fagan has done just that. She has dedicated her lifetime in America to teaching the moral lessons of the Holocaust and inspiring others to develop a moral compass, including founding programs and institutions that will continue those teachings, such as the Judaic Studies program at the University of Miami, the Holocaust Memorial in Miami Beach, the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., the Florida Holocaust Museum, and the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. She has impacted the lives of many thousands in Sarasota by starting the Jewish Federation Holocaust Speakers Bureau and by founding the Dr. Helen N. Fagan Holocaust, Genocide, and Human Rights Collection at New College of Florida. She was recently bestowed the key to the city of Sarasota by then Mayor Hagan Brody, and now she is the recipient of the Federation's Zachor Eisenhower Award. Accepting this award on Helen's behalf is her devoted daughter, Judith. Judith, we thank you for being here with us today, and please tell your mom that we owe her a debt of gratitude and that we will always remember her for all she has done to open our eyes, to open our minds, and to open our hearts. Indeed, we shall never forget Helen Fagan.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Feynman. I'm the Resource Development Manager at the Federation, and I've had the pleasure of working with the next two award recipients. The Hatikva Hope Award is awarded to Adrian Cohen. I was first introduced to Adrian at a volunteer open house. She was sitting at a table representing one of the partner organizations with which we coordinate to offer volunteer opportunities. When I approached her, I learned that she was not a staff member, but one of the dedicated volunteers. And I got to hear her speak about her love of giving back. Since then, I've gotten to know Adrian better through her work with the Life and Legacy Stewardship team. Adrian Cohen has been volunteering for the Federation and several of our partner organizations for many years. She is generous with her time, her knowledge, and her warmth. Adrian shows up with a smile, brings ideas and enthusiasm to each task, and treats every job as an opportunity to do good in our community. Adrian's also been active in her support for keeping our Jewish community safe. Her generosity bolsters our efforts to weather threats and strengthen the security of our religious institutions. We're honored that she has chosen us and our mission to fulfill her hopes for the future of our community. Adrian understands hope. She looks forward to our future and sees the big picture. She understands and explains to others that every task, no matter its size, is vital in accomplishing lofty goals. Her positive energy raises hopes and inspires others. And on a personal note, I look forward to her tutelage on financial planning, which was raising my own hopes for the future. For the gift of her time and talents, we are pleased to bestow upon her the Hatikva Hope Award. Thank you for all you do, Adrian. The Murasha Legacy Award goes to Judy Foxx. Judy Foxx moved to Sarasota in 2018 and immediately reached out to the Federation to get involved. Following in her family's tradition, Judy works tirelessly to improve our community. Her father, Jack Weintraub, was the executive director of our own federation and later was instrumental in expanding the residences and services available at Aviva as well. Judy is continuing this work with her own flair and dedication. I met Judy when she began volunteering at the Federation as a member of the Life and Legacy Stewardship team. She took over the leadership of that team within a year and has been a true partner, friend, and mentor. But the work Judy does with the Federation is simply an extension of who she is. She's always willing to open her home. Judy has been a welcome committee for new neighbors, helping to forge connections between people, and Federation is consistently included in her introduction to the community. Also active at Aviva, Judy brings warmth, creativity, patience, thoughtful planning, and strong leadership to everything she does. Despite her considerable personal expertise, Judy takes advantage of professional and lay development opportunities and enthusiastically works to improve the quality of stewardship she and her team provide to our legacy donors. Judy is an evangelist for legacy giving, leading by example and encouraging others to give beyond their lifetimes to support the institutions that mean so much to them and the future of the Jewish community. She walks the walk, and we are so fortunate that she and her husband, Eric, have chosen our community as their own. Judy embodies all that the Murasha Legacy Award stands for. Kol hakavod, Judy. With great respect, we are so pleased to present you with this award.
Logan Maher, our communications and marketing coordinator, was planning to present this award tonight, but unfortunately he is sick, so I will do the honor on his behalf. I'm Marty Katz, Senior Director of Communications and Marketing, and it is with gratitude that I present the Avada Award service to Elliot Offsewitz for his dedication and service to our Jewish community. Since January 2018, Elliot has played a crucial role in the production process of the Jewish News as one of our proofreaders. It is an understatement to say that Elliot goes above and beyond in his role. Elliot moved to Sarasota with his wife Barbara and their 3 children from Ohio in the early 70s. His professional career was in IT, and he had a stint as a retail store owner of durable medical equipment. His work experience, as well as his degrees in engineering and business, focusing on facts and thoroughness, have contributed to his proofreading finesse. In a volunteer spotlight article written about him a few years ago, he said, "An excellent high school teacher, bolstered by secretaries and experience, has resulted in a love of proofreading. From simple typos, checking facts, and spelling, to cross-referencing the information found in an ad on one page with an article on another, Elliot surely keeps us on our toes. He often finds numerous errors in the paper before it gets printed and delivered to thousands of Jewish households in Sarasota-Manatee and across the country. A recent example of his proofreading prowess was sending Logan a lengthy email asking about the word COVID, which was found in a number of articles in the same issue. Was it COVID-19, just COVID, coronavirus, or should the word COVID be all in caps? His engineering brain deftly noticed all the various spellings in different articles. We often receive accolades on our beloved community newspaper. Without the help of our dedicated proofreaders, such as Elliot, I honestly don't think we would receive as many as we do. Their work comes through every word, every line, every page, every ad of our Jewish news. We are enormously grateful for all of our proofreaders, and we are especially lucky to have Elliot on our team. His keen mind, sharp attention to detail, passion for making a difference, and dedication to volunteering is unmatched. I am proud to present Elliot with this year's Avada Service Award. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eileen Foxx. I'm Senior Philanthropic Officer at the Federation. The namesake of the Betty Schoenbaum Heart to Heart Award would have been so proud to see Julie Halbert receive this honor. Julie puts her heart into everything she is involved with, never looking for accolades or awards. During the 2019 Momentum trip to Israel and Year of Growth, following her own personal, unthinkable tragedy, Julie truly became the heart, center, and inspiration for that year's participants and continues to do so today for all of the Momentum women. Her love for Israel, Judaism, and community, and passion to combat anti-Semitism have fueled her involvement with the Heller Community Relations Committee, and she now serves as Education Policy Chair. Julie is willing to leverage her vast experience with Jewish Federations of North America, the Harrisburg Federation, where she founded the CRC, and professional experience as legal counsel for the Council of the Great City Schools to her newest Jewish community of Sarasota-Manatee. The daughter of Cynthia and Stanley Wright, many of you who I'm sure know, she's also a new, valuable, and unshy member of our board of directors. And talk about giving with heart. Through the Tidewell Hospice Blue Butterfly Program, Julie dedicates time to children who have lost immediate family members, drawing on her firsthand knowledge due to the loss of her beloved husband, Jim. And I certainly cannot leave out love for family. Julie's love for her two sons, William and Jacob, manifests itself through their many accomplishments. I smile every time I think about Betty, and it is really easy to think about her in this room. I think that Julie and Betty would have become fast friends, and if Betty was here today, Julie would be on the receiving end of one of her famous heart-to-heart hugs. I am proud to call Julie a dear friend, and I am delighted to present her with the Betty Schoenbaum Heart-to-Heart Award.
I would just like to offer a huge congratulations to our daughter, Julie Wright Halbert, on receiving the Heart to Heart Award. Julie, we are so proud and we love you so much, Mom and Dad.
Every time I talk to Joy Moravitz, part of the conversation revolves around family, her parents of blessed memory, her children and grandchildren, and the part that they all play in everything that she does, which is a lot. Both here and in her native Pittsburgh, Joy truly exemplifies l'ador vador from generation to generation. Joy's father taught her the importance of philanthropy, especially supporting Jewish causes. Her mother, from a small town in Louisiana with very few Jews, maintained a strong Jewish identity and preserved Jewish traditions and values. The most important lesson Flo taught Joy was the significance of philanthropy, specifically to Jewish causes. If we don't support the Jews, her mother said, no one else will. It became one of the mantras of Joy's life. When Joy considered supporting Federation's newly reimagined and updated campus for the future, the legacy of her parents and her children and grandchildren were in the forefront of her mind. She wanted to name a space that would be frequently used for a wide variety of programs, events, meetings, and social and educational opportunities. By naming the Joy Moravitz rooms in the Morgenroth Event Center, she did just that. She also created a lasting tribute that her children and grandchildren will be able to see, experience, and be proud of. And it was of the utmost importance to Joy to set an example for her family of giving to the Jewish community and doing something that will have tremendous impact and benefits for many years to come. Joy lives up to her name. She brought joy to her loving parents, brings joy to her children and grandchildren, and to Federation and to her many friends. It is with great joy that I present the l'ador vador Generation to Generation Award to my fabulous friend, Joy Moravitz. I don't think you can live in Sarasota and not be familiar with those light blue, black, and white Ian Black real estate signs. Legendary in our community, Federation is lucky and honored to have this firm as a corporate sponsor. Known for their community-minded philosophy, they made donations to the Season of Sharing to support those impacted by the pandemic and provided popcorn boxes for frontline workers. Ian and Roseanne Black are long supporters of Federation, but for the past 8 years, Ian Black Real Estate has generously supported us as well. Starting with the now infamous silent disco in 2014, and subsequently sponsoring several major gifts events in Israel at 70. For the past few years, Just Real Films, which resulted from some fortuitous brainstorming between my colleague Jeremy and Roseanne. Just Real Films was a monthly film series that featured Jewish-themed films that have been shown in venues throughout Sarasota and Manatee. The series is free, but audience members were encouraged to donate to community organizations such as All Faiths Food Bank. Yet another way that Ian Black Real Estate facilitates giving in the community. This successful initiative has reached so many people that knew nothing about Federation and has broken down barriers, educated, and built a community. We at Federation are grateful and honored to have had this outstanding organization as a corporate sponsor. We thank you for your ongoing support, and we even get a little bit of real estate expertise thrown in on the side. To the whole team at Ian Black Real Estate, I'm thrilled to present you with the Kahila Ha'arganot Corporate Community Award. While reading through descriptions of a woman of valor, I discovered, but was not surprised, that Stacy Hannon embodies them all. I found a present-day interpretation of the traditional poem that aptly describes Stacy. A good woman, so hard to find, she is more precious than rubies. Her circle cast with friendship deep, full of love and graceful ease, she is a woman of valor. She opens her hands to the less fortunate. She does not fear the other, extends her heart to those in need, encourages her friends to succeed. A thoroughly modern woman of valor, Stacy balances a successful real estate career, volunteer work, and a fabulous family, including her husband Ben and their 3 daughters, along with extended family and friends that are like family. Following a strong tradition in the Hannon family, including her beloved mother-in-law, Sandra, of blessed memory, Stacy seems to have time and gives more than 100% to all she does. And she truly sets an example for everyone who has the good fortune to cross her path. I recall sitting at dinner in Israel during the inaugural Momentum trip. Stacy's daughters were in high school and college, and all of the women with younger children listened intently to every word she said in hopes of gleaning a little parenting advice, because all 3 of her daughters are so amazing. As a real estate professional, Stacy is beyond reproach and well respected by her colleagues and adored and trusted by her clients. As a member of the Federation Board, Executive Committee, Capital Campaign Leadership, and so much more, Stacy provides valuable insight, knowledge, and experience to all she does. Jewish community and tradition are fundamental to who Stacy is. Valor is defined as strength and courage, and Stacy possesses both. We're fortunate that she and Ben chose to settle in Sarasota, and even luckier that she uses her strength and courage to help build and sustain our Jewish community. Plus, she is a class act. Giselle is sorry that she is not here to see you receive this award, but I hope you know that we are all privileged to be here tonight with a special woman of valor. I am pleased to present, with great love and respect, the Woman of Valor Award to our own Stacy Hannon. The next award I'm presenting on behalf of Kim Adler, who cannot be here tonight. Howard Tevlowitz has dedicated his life to improving the lives of Jews around the world. His entire career has been spent in the Jewish communal field, and as everyone knows, our Jewish community in Sarasota-Manatee has been the beneficiary of his leadership and vision for the last 2 decades. Howard's passion for Judaism and Israel are apparent in every fiber of his being. The passion and dedication led the way for major changes to our Federation under Howard's tenure. We went from being a very traditional, what Howard might deem a mom and pop organization, to one that broke traditions and created new pathways in the Federation landscape, not just locally, but throughout our Federation system. These changes didn't always make Howard the most popular person, but he was an agent of change, and as we know, change is rarely easy. He took the hits, spent hours on the phone and in person explaining his vision, and eventually people came around and could see a glimpse of what was clear to him all along. Howard was always open to new ideas and didn't fear failure. He encouraged our staff and our leadership to think outside the box and try new things. Not everything worked, but we learned lessons from those failures as well. This willingness allowed for incredible programs like the Bob Malkin Young Ambassador Award, Mission to Israel, the Life and Legacy Initiative to develop and flourish in our community, just to name a few. And most importantly, Howard was instrumental in leading the way in the development for the Larry and Mary Greenspun Family Campus for Jewish Life, a central location that will strengthen and celebrate Jewish life and culture in our community for years to come. One of the things I, meaning Kim, and me as well, most admire about Howard in his capacity to build is his capacity to build relationships and coalitions. He has an uncanny ability to connect people, organizations, and entire communities around a common goal, challenge, or issue that needs to be solved. He served on a variety of committees and boards, which not only helped raise awareness about our Federation, but also made him a sought-after partner and sounding board for many leaders in our community. He knew that our Jewish community was a small but mighty force here in Sarasota-Manatee, and then in order to be heard on certain issues, we needed friends. He worked with leadership across the spectrum, religion, minority groups, cultural, arts, education, advocacy, and more, to ensure that the needs of our Jewish community were heard and understood by all. I could stand here all evening and talk about this man for whom I have a never-ending level of respect and admiration. But I hope that my remarks say what we all already know. Howard Tevlowitz is a true man of valor and deserves the respect of our community for the indelible mark he's left on all of us, as individuals, as members of the Jewish community, and as supporters of this Federation. Thank you, Howard. Howard is with us on Zoom tonight. So he's hearing your applause, and thank you on his behalf.
Okay, hang in there. Only a few more. Best for last, right? So good evening. My name is Trudy Krames, and I am the Senior Director of Programming for Federation. And I am thrilled to present the Halutim Pioneer Award to Carol Kleinberg. Carol is a true pioneer, an instrumental member of the world of theater, synonymous with the Sarasota arts and culture scene. Never before has our Federation embarked on a project such as the Sarasota Jewish Theater. Through Carol's vision, together, SJT, as we like to call it, and Federation not only pulled off a highly successful inaugural season at the beginning of this year, but together we did it virtually, through the continued pandemic no less. Since the conclusion of season 1, Carol has dedicated her time and energy to expanding this new project, along with visions of many others, to perform live and in person, partnering with Players Theater until our campus event center is completed, to ensure that season 2's live productions are even more successful and impactful as season 1's. Working with Carol not only has been a huge learning experience for me, but it has certainly kept me on my toes. And I really didn't realize how fun and challenging working in the theater world was. And prior to moving here, I came from early childhood education and camping. Her wealth of knowledge, expertise, and connections within the cultural arts and theater communities have taken our campus project to new heights. Carol could not have brought this partnership to Federation at a better time. Her years of experience, calm demeanor, and positive attitude are just what we need to make the dream of a thriving Sarasota Jewish Theater project a reality. I know it all has special meaning for Carol, as her roots are deep in Sarasota. She and her family have been here for generations, and we know that she has made her family and community proud of her work, achievements, and accomplishments. Much, if not all, of which will benefit our whole Jewish community for years to come. Thank you, Carol, for all you have done and will continue to do for our federations and the greater community. Please join me in honoring Carol Kleinberg with the Halutim Award. On behalf of Kim Adler, Federation's Chief Operating Officer, who is unable to attend this evening, it is my honor to share with you Kim's words. It has been a true pleasure to work with Stacy Gilman this past year. Stacy has long been a leader in our community, having held leadership positions in a number of organizations, including a past board president of JFCS. Stacy originally got involved with Federation with the intention of starting our new local granting committee, and then COVID-19 hit. When that happened, she and I, Kim, worked together with the committee to create criteria to disperse grants to local Jewish organizations for COVID relief. I am proud to share that our Federation raised and distributed close to $340,000 to 13 Jewish community institutions. Those grants enabled synagogues to upgrade technology in order to offer virtual services and programs for their constituents, provided Shabbat meals and food for families in need, and assisted Aviva to protect their residents, those who were most vulnerable to the virus, with much needed personal protective equipment and testing supplies. Stacy was steadfast in her mission to distribute these dollars widely and consistently to all organizations in need. She was a fantastic sounding board and led thoughtful discussions amongst our committee members as we pored over applications and discussed budgets. Her care and concern for our community's needs were evident throughout the three-phase process. We are fortunate to have leaders like Stacy Gilman in our community. She stepped up to the plate at a time of great uncertainty, a time for which we had no roadmap and no historical data to help us make decisions. She listened to her committee, welcomed their feedback, and asked questions. Through these grants, we brought our community closer together at a time when we could not physically be together. Thank you, Stacy, for embodying what the Kahila Community Award represents, and thank you for making the COVID-19 granting process so rewarding for all involved. All right, Shep, you're up.
All right, I stand between you and your pillows. I get it, it's gonna be short and sweet, but these are worth waiting for. Plus, you're gonna learn some Hebrew words if you don't know them. So, our first award, or my first award that I'm giving, is the Yad Khazaka, which means in Hebrew, Strong Hand Award, which goes to our own Bob Israeloff. This award is for someone who has led the Federation through a difficult or an important project or chapter. And as both Randon and Bruce have mentioned, that could not be more true of what Bob has done for the past 2 years, taking the Federation through a time of 3 CFOs. I don't know if you count, once or twice. And COVID, and the near evaporation of 2 pillars of the Federation's operating budget, event sponsorship and rental income from the campus. None of this deterred Bob, who was absolutely determined to understand every single number and make sure that our board and executive committee understood every number. He brought a lifetime of financial analysis to the job as the founder and former CEO of Israeloff, Trantner and Company CPAs. Bob has been named one of the 100 most influential CPAs in the history of American public accounting, and he is a past chairman of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, among many other certifications and awards that I will not mention in his professional career. However, he is also former president of HIAS, a wonderful and historic Jewish organization, as well as the Perlman Music Festival and the Sarasota County Arts Council. Bob brought all of this experience, his understanding of finance, nonprofits, Sarasota, and leadership to this role, and made sure that the Federation board members understood what their fiduciary responsibility was, and that they had every possible piece of information that he could provide to them. We all owe a debt of gratitude to Bob Israeloff. Congratulations, Bob. Bruce mentioned the importance of bringing young leaders into the top levels of the Federation, and that's what this next award is about. It's the Atid Award. Atid means future in Hebrew, and it is given to someone who continually proves that they are the future of our Jewish community. That could not be more true than it is of our awardee tonight, Aaron Rubin. Aaron grew up here, left, and came back to help build this community, bringing his wonderful wife and 2 sons, and stepped forward in the midst of a big promotion, a very challenging job, a new house, and being a super dad of 2 school-age kids, to make sure that our community had the benefit of his 21 years of professional real estate development and brokerage experience, so that our campus planning could be at the highest possible professional level. He has made sure that the Larry and Mary Grinsbaum family campus is planned in a strategic and efficient and cost-effective way, and he has challenged us to think about the generations ahead in every decision we make. It's been wonderful to see someone of his generation who holds the Jewish people and the Jewish future so close to his heart and makes time to build our future despite an incredibly busy life. Okay, the last award and the last you're going to hear from me tonight is a wonderful award, one of my favorite Hebrew words, acharai, which means literally follow me, and it is for a leader who has been transformative in their leadership. And that award tonight could not be more perfectly placed than to our awardee, Dr. Joel Morgenroth. As I think most people in this room know, Joel is a man of incredible accomplishments, a board-certified cardiologist with over 30 years' experience in clinical research and in clinical research entrepreneurship. He holds multiple faculty appointments in the Philadelphia area and has been a leader with nonprofits both there and here, including at the Ringling College of Art, the Sarasota Memorial Healthcare Foundation, and the Oslo Repertory Theater. Although Joel, surprisingly, only joined our federation 2 years ago, he has had a transformative impact by serving not only on our board and our executive committee, but also on our campus utilization, Corona Task Force, Finance Committee, Governance Committee, and completely rebuilt our investment committee. I probably should also mention that he chaired the search committee that brought me to town. And in that way, literally said, "Follow me." If you've ever served with Joel, you'll know that he has a very distinctive leadership style. As the debate rages and the discussion boils over, he listens quietly, very poker-faced, doesn't say a word. Waits till everyone has gotten all their issues on the table. And then does anyone remember the TV show Columbo? You know, where he's like, just one question, ma'am, as he's, right? That's Joel. Just ask one question that just totally illuminates the crux of the issue and solves the whole problem every time. I'm thrilled to offer the Acharai Award to Joel Morgenroth. We owe you a great debt of gratitude. Haley and I owe you a personal debt of gratitude, and we are also thrilled that you and your brilliant wife, Gail, have seen fit to name the centerpiece of our Mary and Larry Greenspan Family Campus, the Morgenroth Event Center, which will help power the entire campus into our future. Thank you.
Congratulations to all awardees. On a personal note, as a father to 2 children in the community, I'd really like to thank all of you, both awardees and to our wonderful leaders, the professional leaders and otherwise, the folks that have built this community, have made it what it is, and we're all benefiting from it so much, and we're very excited for the new campus that is growing. I'd like to now invite someone that's been involved in tonight's event from the very beginning, Jeremy Lisitza, Director of Innovation and Volunteer Engagement. Thank you.
Okay, in reality, this is the first time I've ever asked to do this in 9 years that I've been staff for this event. But after 2 years of not seeing you all, Murasha, Bonnie, Ronnie, I mean, I can call you all out. I am so happy to see you all. You've got no idea. And it makes my job, you know what, is what I would say to Betty Schoenbaum. Betty, you make my heart smile. And tonight, all of you make my heart smile. And I thank you so much for being here tonight. And I can't wait to do more and more with you all, because I can't help it. Really? L'chaim, l'chaim. And just a little quick note, Howard, if you're watching, l'chaim. Kim, if you're online, l'chaim. We're with you. I love you all. I love you all, and thank you so much for being here tonight. Truly. I'm going to shut up now.